I turned into a song. It's a blues piece, and it's called Cosmish Lady Blues. Twice seen with the art of the macabre, once in her sacred den. Twice seen with the art of the macabre, once in her sacred den. Although the heart has been robbed, the light of the self speaks through Zen. She has the hair of midnight and one, astrology in her eyes. Her mind tells the tales of lore. There is too much reality to fantasize. She has the voice of long-awaited reason, heart of white gold immaculate. Her manifestations make the planet revolve, but true love has won the gambling bet. Insignificant ram, limping with the case of the Cosmish Blues. English Wolfen beat him to confession, primordial news. His tears of defeat are how he paid his dues. Best give the rest to distant brother lamb. He covers his ears to evade the howling. She turns to look, but only sees an ally. Could there be a Styx River drop of a chance? The words have been hibernating. Awaken them from a slumber in vain. Confess before the Earth Child and take your stance. Those blessed Cosmish Lady Blues, those damned Cosmish Lady Blues. The condition is the Cosmish Lady Blues, lifts the spirits high. They call it the Cosmish Lady Blues, and it will lift the spirits high. After a time of feeling low, why not dip our astral bodies in the purest skies? Biology of beauty, a revered appearance like no other. To meditate with her would be a privilege, a giver, a polyglot, a dream in color, a lover. Thinking straight is no longer an option, for her centralized image is breathtaking. Photographers weep and citizens bow, the gestures of selflessness, the unthinkable in peacemaking. English Wolfen imprinted on her first, leaving the disoriented ram an outcast among sheep. They bleat and scream, but they feel the urge to weep. Why think about defeat when seductive fingers lead to sleep? Counting the fence-jumping siblings, better than quenching an empty thirst. She has never parted the sea without thinking of the wildlife first. So many faces look up to her to complete the task. He has never been afraid of the truth until now. Why compare oneself to destiny? So why wear a ram's skin and wolf's mask? Those blessed Cosmish Lady Blues, those damned Cosmish Lady Blues. Can we belong and exist as one? So this is the only piece where I've ever made the wolf villainous. Usually I see him as the protector, the guardian. It's my spirit animal, but in this case, no. So it's just called wolf. Senses not diminished, mind as sharp as the teeth I use for defense purposes only. Alone I reside on the English side of the forest. The horned ones never did any harm, so why attack out of necessary necessity? Surviving and thriving as an herbivore, I desire no taste for meat. They age, the agile bones needed for disasters headed for the inner rim. They call me wolf, but I claim protector of all that is pure. Come and seek my counsel, for I live to serve with words and spread the joy of living. Why won't the lamb speak to me? What does he sense? Why does the goat turn her back to me? What does she sense? Why does the ram possess a green aura? What has he to be envious of? Oh, but what connection is this, far beyond anything I deserve or fathom? Initiation is biting down, patience is biting its tongue, bleeding profusely as a crimson star. Dare I approach her? Even a canis deserves a smidgen of happiness. Her presence makes the fur rise and reverts to black from the gray of time and memoriam. Oh, courage, help me say the right set of words. Do I detect another being, someone who wishes to confess his undying love? He questions it and succumbs to low self-esteem. His downfall is my miracle of a chance, my blade of whistling grass. Running through untold woods, letting my paws rub against softness, I have found life yet again, for she feels that meaning. Never before has my spirit been so cleansed. Never before have I seen the bodies ignite such sparks. I have purpose. I have fulfillment. Wolf, the domineering predator, softer than the soil. Let me imprint you, dearest creature. Let us live out the end of years. kind of makes me think of I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. And keep in mind, it was very difficult picking 3 that would not spoil any of the story. So, and I think this is the final one that can live up to that just intention. And this is called Jules, Enter Nirvana, a poem for Cosmish. It was you in that art gallery in a fog-banked dream. It was you who I looked upon. It was you in the bed of curiosities, lying there listening to Coltrane. It was you who I saw, raven-haired multicultural beauty, mind of orgasmic happenings, waited many moons, many eons of mystic gatherings to glimpse at your goddess face and figure, to wade in the river of your thoughts. Songs set aflame near the lake of esoteric folk singers, despising the studio and living in the lap of luxurious company. Your words are historic documents found in the primeval mandala sands, your art and musical gifts of extension, visions for the blind and operatic symphonies for the deaf. I am your grateful silhouette, the one who kisses your fingertips and caresses the nerves, massaging the worries and simmering them. And we exchange mutual glances, and we have each other passionately, and we kiss and make new constellation myths. Separation is a boulder balancing on a bindle, a grave for your loss, and yet another chapter of your life begins. Envy is a killer of silence, but oh, the Canterbury air seems grand in the homely abode. See others as they see you, the living embodiment of a jewel entering Nirvana. You are the gem in a human rock pile, shouting, Sid is the reason for life. Equality is the eternal ruler. Poverty no more. Your problems come first. Your grand organ of a heart, the actual 8th wonder of the world. The naysayers have seen nothing yet. Grotesque canvas creations, the true beauty. Your smile speaks determination, hidden by unnecessary doubts. I am a satyr, a pan flute playing admirer of yours, as lowly as the forest soil, but higher than the clouds for you. And we synchronize brainwaves, and we touch and intertwine fingers, and we sing praises to living spirits in the dead of night. Before I carry on, these are for you and Ross.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guess I have another receipt piece if I can find it. Most of them are untitled. Normally I manifest the title. But once in a while I will write the piece and then I'll put the title, but alright. No, absolutely not. Yeah. Okay. Am I doing on time? Yeah, pretty good actually. I'll actually read a new piece in this lovely designed notebook. And this piece is going to become a song as well, but I want you all to keep your ears intact, so I'm just going to read it. And it's called Reincarnate, My Beloved. Call upon the morning star of red, the dawn desperately escaping the moonlight that shone. I have lived countless lives, but not once have I breathed in my own. I tried to kill the fading light inside of me, but the cauldron's brew was much too strange to see. We can sing the tales of rambling ghouls, the white whale's ship of fools. We can mourn for 1,000 years. Starman's gone in a week's time, but his voice still echoes in my ears. Evening gown draped over her body of curiosity, her skin of silk brown complements a man of pale. Personas intertwine in a furious frenzy, not knowing where we are, trapped in another gale. Winds blowing our hair from this side to that, we question everything we know about time. This is not the universe we were reared in, utopian fantasy of war with mountains of bodies to climb. Familial spring essence is upon us, for the chilled kiss of winter left the skies. Green faces on pungent paper, the dead men march again to capitalize. Feel my heart as steady as a stone, found near the zenith Tibetan monastery, skipping as a rebel in animation. Next life spent in exile, picking rotten blueberries. The consumer is never blue. washed away by an unknown tide, a cascade hue. Feel your face as smooth as love, notebooks unsealed with lavender words, letters of amorous syllables and illusory visions, written by the bards who fall prey to predatory birds. The birds will never fly again, wingspan collapsed by a land dweller desperate for a Stockholm friend. No such concept as original sin for the meditated fragrance of a jasmine. Each whiff is a guaranteed win. Let serenity begin. Can Mirabai help to guide the way past all obstacles and through a rain of swords? Can she lend us her prolific verses, adding to the hopeful voices who are instructed to follow the drinking gourd? My partner's spirit is forever mine, and my soul is forever hers. Our next life will be a blissful reunion, for our current separation, a death-laden blur.
Please repeat last name.
Okay, I'll be there in a minute. Sorry. Okay. I think I'll end this with something something completely different. So normally I write poems, songs, essays, musings, quips, and whatnot, but I really wanted to get out of my comfort zone and try something completely different. It's almost finished. I'm at the climactic finish of this. I'm practically done with my first play. I've written short verse dramas and dialogue poems, so I have some experience of script writing, but this is my first prosaic play, but there is some poetry in it. There's one character who speaks entirely of verse, and they're trying to figure out why, and so poetry doesn't escape that easily. And it's a courtroom drama. It mixes tragedy with some poetry, and it's not exactly I don't know if it's really a happy story, but it's necessary. It's something that's been bugging me for the longest time, and I've been writing this with such passion. I think I can speak for us all when there's a certain group of people who I'm just really sick of, whose existence just needs to be altered completely, and that's drunk drivers. There have been too many unnecessary deaths caused by their recklessness. Reckless drivers in general just have a major vendetta against them. And so this is sort of meant to, it's sort of like a wake-up call, a very harsh, rude awakening for them. And if I can alter the minds of a few once it's brought to the stage, then my mission's complete. So I'm just going to be reading you the opening. There was vehicular homicide caused by drunk driving, and just keep in mind though that it's not taking place in any particular, this is a very unusual court setting, and in reality this kind of trial would take a lot longer than this, and it's for this specific play it's a whole day, but obviously it would take a lot longer.
Backup to the front, please.
Okay, I'll send backup. Just whatever. I don't know. He has code words. I don't know. So the judge is very unconventional. So I'll just put it that way. So the bailiff has the opening line. He says, "This court is now in session. All rise for the honorable." I'm not going to give her name. I've spoiled too much already. The judge walks towards her bench with a rather obvious look of disgust on her face. She sits. She says, "You may be seated." Everyone sits. There's a slight pause in the judge's voice as if she does not know how to commence, and she says, "Forgive me, but after reading the police report on this particular case, I am not even sure where to begin. For 2 decades, I have put away more pathetic inebriated wastes of skin than the bottles they've fused with. Never before have I encountered such a case. Never before have I come across a story as gruesome, as demented, and as tear-jerking as this one." And she looks at the victim's family and at the best friend who has decided to take the killer to court. She says, "My sincerest condolences to you all. I too know how it feels to lose a loved one, to have that person's life slip away from them and from you in the blink of an eye. It is unspeakable, though, to lose a child, no matter what the cause may be. Now, I cannot bring him back. I cannot guarantee a happy ending for those of you who are grieving. However, I can promise you one thing. You will witness the true power and might of the very definition of justice. And then she looks at the killer. Her voice switches from loving to ice cold. She says, "There are so many sentences I could conjure up right now, but every single one of them would seal my fate as a judge in the worst ways imaginable. Instead, I shall tell you this. Though it is against my profession and code of ethics to be biased on any issue, no matter what transpires today, it is not going to turn out well for you. It will not lean in your favor. Do I make myself abundantly clear?" And she breathes and looks at both attorneys, and she says, "Counselors, you may proceed." So, thank you very much. That's the time.